You ever wonder if therapy could be replaced by something easier and more accessible? I know for me, I struggle with anxiety, and I thought that therapy was the only option to alleviate that. But then I found a pretty surprising solution, and all it involved was a free app. But before I talk about the app, let's talk about the solution. And the solution is journaling. And if you're unfamiliar with the concept of journaling, it is the act of writing down your thoughts and feelings in an effort to deal with overwhelming emotions and express ourselves in a healthy way. I tried journaling in the past, but I gave up on it pretty quickly because it just felt too open-ended to me. But I also realized I didn't really give it a proper chance. And so recently I've tried to give it another shot. I've been feeling more stress and anxiety lately. And so I wanted to see if I could use journaling to help control those emotions, make them feel better without having to go back to therapy. You see, I used to go to therapy 2 times a month and I paid out of pocket for it. So it was close to $300 per month. But I thought it was worth it because I gained a lot from it and I learned a lot of useful skills to help with my stress and anxiety. Truly, the main benefit that I got from therapy was just speaking out loud the thoughts and feelings in my head. Rarely did my therapist ever give advice. She just asked probing questions to get me to think out loud. And so I found that when I spoke out loud, the thoughts and feelings that were in my head, I would often come to different realizations that really helped me to frame things in a different perspective to help reduce the stress and anxiety that I had. So recently I asked myself, could I achieve the same benefits of talk therapy through journaling? And that's what I've been experimenting with for the past 30 days. The first obstacle I had to overcome was figuring out the logistics of how I was going to do the journaling. I could do the old school method of just pen and notebook. I could use a note-taking app on my iPad, or I could use a dedicated journaling app. I ruled out the pen and notebook as well as the note-taking app because it just felt too open-ended. And again, that was the reason why I quit journaling the first time that I tried it. So I decided to opt for the dedicated journaling app. I ended up getting Stoic, which is a freemium journaling app. And the thing that I like about it is that it gives me actual prompts to write about. So it takes a very open-ended activity and makes it a lot more digestible for beginners. So there's prompts for all sorts of various categories that I could want to write about. And it also just has a very simple and easy to use interface. After I got used to writing journal entries for specific prompts, I got more comfortable with the idea of writing more open-ended entries because I became more accustomed to the types of things that I could write about. So on the home screen, there's 2 main entries. There's the morning preparation and the evening reflection. I've set up my morning preparation so that it asks me about my sleep, what I'm going to be working on that day, as well as it gives me a specific gratitude journaling prompt. So it'll have some prompt related to gratitude so that I can always start my day with an air of gratitude, which I think is always nice. And then the evening reflection is just a very open-ended journal entry on what was happening that day. And I can just sort of recount my day and the thoughts and feelings that I had on that particular day. For the first half of my 30-day experiment, I definitely noticed a benefit with using this app. Really, the main benefit for me wasn't even necessarily like an emotional well-being benefit, but it was just nice to do the evening reflection and just take time to recount what happened in my day. Because so often I go through life where each day feels like it's exactly the same because, routine job, routine schedule, that sort of a thing. But it's nice to be able to look back on my day and actually think, oh, okay, actually this interesting thing happened today. So it's nice to be able to pick out the nuances that happen on a particular day. And so that really I found was a cool benefit to doing the evening reflections. The one thing that I still felt was missing though was the spoken aspect. While it's nice to be able to write out the thoughts and feelings that I have, I still felt like it was more beneficial to speak them out loud. And then around that time, I found out that there was a voice record feature in Stoic. And so I could actually record my voice and it would save a copy of the voice memo as well as transcribe that voice audio into text on the journal entry. And that was really the big game changer for me when using this app. So now, instead of typing out my evening reflection of what happened during the day, I could just speak out loud what happened and sort of what I was feeling on that particular day. And to me, I just get more benefit from doing that. And I felt like I gained the benefits similar to like when I was in talk therapy. So what's the difference? Why is speaking out loud more beneficial than writing? I think for me, it comes down to when I'm writing, I have to think ahead about what I'm going to write. So I'm constantly filtering out words and editing what I'm writing down in order to make the sentence make sense. However, with speaking, it's really off the cuff. When I'm speaking, I don't really have time to pre-plan what I'm going to say. And so because of that, there's something really powerful about that. I don't really know how to explain it other than when I speak things out loud, it's like I'm saying a more truer version of what I want to say as opposed to writing. And so when I speak things out loud, that's typically where I can come to different realizations and frame things in maybe in a different way that I hadn't thought of. And that ultimately helps me to manage my stress and anxiety that I have. So for me, journaling has been 100% worth it. And I think it's been a valuable tool for helping with my mental health. But can it actually replace a mental health therapist? I think for me, it can. 80% of the time. So I think for my typical day-to-day happenings, journaling can pretty much replace therapy in terms of achieving a similar benefit. Especially now that I can speak out loud my journal entries and have them be transcribed, I can express my emotions in a healthy way and often arrive at realizations about how I'm processing certain events of my life. However, if there is a significant issue happening in my life, or if my emotions just feel overwhelming, I don't think journaling is going to cut it. And truthfully, there have been things going on lately where I'm thinking, hey, maybe I want to go back to therapy. And the reason for that is the big benefit of a therapist is that they will often ask the right question that I need at the right time in order to come to those realizations that help me to process things better. And sometimes if my emotions are overwhelming, I won't know the right question to ask myself, and therefore I won't really come to those realizations on my own through journaling. And so I think when situations are really difficult and when our emotions are overwhelming, this is really where therapy is going to definitely win over versus journaling. I see journaling as a great maintenance tool to keep my mental health in check. Keeping my thoughts and emotions trapped in my head just leads to chaos. And so having an outlet where I can speak out loud those thoughts and have them be transcribed in an app has been immensely helpful. So if you ever thought about journaling and you were like me and thought, it was just way too open-ended, I encourage you to give a journaling app like Stoic a try. It may be one of the best choices you make regarding your mental health this year. And if you found this video to be helpful, check this one out because I think you might like it as well. And until next time, I will see you in the next video. Take care.